I'm alive. Let's do it while you should, because I'm alive, and my hair is stupid, and my glasses are falling, and I have a beard because I haven't really done much in the last week because I was sick. But my voice is back. It sounds normal, sort of, a little bit. I still a little bit hoarse, and that still happens a lot. But other than that, I'm okay. And I've been playing. I've got like 30 hours already on Dark Souls 3 because it's out for 3 days. What do you expect? To not have 30 hours on it? Yeah. If you think I'm gonna be talking about anything other than Dark Souls, then you're stupid. But yeah. So it's really good. You should play it. Everybody should play it. It's so good. It's so good. And what's really cool to see is actually the progression. It's really cool to see. For me, all the tiny things, all the small things really make it. All the little. There's a lot of menuing. There's a lot of things that aren't the actual gameplay in the game. There's a lot of things that have to do with how NPCs are handled. There's a lot of things with how shops are handled. There's a lot of things with how if you do one thing, then you can't do the other thing. And all of these are polished up and finally figured out in a way that doesn't completely suck. I mean, there's so many little things in this game that are finally tweaked up to the correct manner, and they're so the quality of life of a Dark Souls 3 player is so much higher than Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2. It's just so much easier to go through the game and so much more comfortable to go through the game with all of these tweaks. A random example would be, and it's not entirely perfect, I don't know exactly how it works, but if you kill an NPC that sells you stuff, there's a vendor, then that NPC will actually drop ash, just that person's ash. And then you can take that ash to a specific vendor in the shrine, in the hub area, and she will take on most of his wares, or at least the important wares that you maybe couldn't get anywhere else. She'll have them. So if you choose to kill a character, an NPC character, for a specific reason, for a quest, or because you hate her, or because you want her stuff, or whatever it is, you could still do that and still enjoy most of her wares in a relatively comfortable manner. So it allows you to not give up too many things in a way that kind of makes sense, because giving up in one sense, yeah, if you killed her, then you shouldn't enjoy her wares anymore because you killed her. But because there's a lot of cycles for the game, thank you, dog. Because there's a lot of cycles in terms of New Game Plus and New Game Plus, and you will go there because that's Dark Souls, it's basically just a hindrance. It's basically just annoying. So there's no real reason to prevent the player from still accessing the wares of that person. And it's not complete. I mean, you can't access everything, but most of the things, at least the important things, and it's a really neat little mechanic. A lot of other things have been done to make the game just more comfortable. Sometimes it's tiny little things that probably most people don't notice, but they're so good. For example, you can now have, like, I think is like 10 quick items. 10, that is a ton. And you usually find yourself like scrolling through them, and it's frantic and it's terrible because you only do the down arrow key on the controller cycles through those 10 items, which is a lot of items. So if you're frantic to get something and if you overshoot, you're screwed. Well, now the most important thing, if you put the most important thing, which is, frankly, your Estus flask, which is how you heal, the only way you heal in the game, is, well, except for heal miracles, which are spells, which take, basically the Estus is the main way you heal. A main way, not the only, the main way. If you put it on the first slot, or anything you'll put on the first slot of your quick items, if you hold down the down arrow key, it'll actually jump to the first quick item. So you can cycle through them, but if you're, oh my god, I need to heal, you just hold that for a second and it jumps to the first one. That's so good. It is so comfortable. It's such a quality of life, tiny little thing that they finally have in the game that you didn't even think that you want. You didn't even, you didn't know how much you wanted this, and it's so comfortable. And there's a ton of other things like, you can compare directly. Like when you look at something, you could compare directly. And on top of comparing directly, you could also see the item, the item that you're switching, the weapon or the outfit that you're switching, Two, you could actually see yourself wearing it. Like if you hold one of the buttons a couple of times, you can see yourself wearing it and compare fashion souls, which by the way is the most important thing. Nobody cares about the stats. Everybody cares about fashion souls. Yeah, because that's Dark Souls. And there's so many other things that I can't even think of all of them. And a lot of things done with mechanics to make them a lot more interesting. One of the things that I less like, you now have mana, which I really like, that allows you to do cool things not only with spells but also with weapons, and each weapon has more unique stuff. What I don't like is the fact that you now have an Estus flask and an Estus flask, or an Ash Estus, so Estus is faster to say. And this Estus flask replenishes your mana. Obviously, your life is a little more important than your mana. But the thing is that you don't have this flask and this flask. You have a certain amount of times that you could drink, and you can assign it to both of them. So you start off with, I think you start off with 4. So you have 3 and 1, but you could go to 4 heal and 0 on the mana. And let me tell you where I am right now in the game. I'm up to 12, and they are all in healing because I don't care about mana. I mean, I wanted to use this new mechanic of mana and use it with my weapons and my spells and all that. I wanted to do that, but because it's a decision between health, which is just way more important, and I just enjoy having a ton of Estus way more than I enjoy having mana, I'm just going to go with more health. And I don't really care about the mana. I'm just not going to use that mechanic because I could be fine without using that mechanic. And it's probably my own decision. A lot of other people feel differently. But I can definitely see for a long amount of time people mostly using Estus. Like maybe having 1 chug of the mana of the Ash Estus. Maybe 1, maybe 2 once you have like 7 or 8. But I'm currently running around with 12 and 0 because I really don't care about mana. I've got like a couple of spells, but I barely use them. And it's just, I don't know. But a lot of other mechanics are also really, really cool. The fact that you can upgrade your weapons as usual. They streamlined it. It's a bit nicer. There's a ton of new ways to upgrade your weapon to enhance it and make it, to infuse it with some kind of variable, some kind of thing. But they removed upgrading your armor, which is totally smart to do because that was kind of fucking stupid in the previous installments. And on top of that, they also completely changed the way armor works, which is kind of weird. It's kind of weird. You actually want to have a slot. You want to have something. It doesn't matter what, but something on every single one of your slots, because just having something gives you a ton of damage reduction. Just doesn't matter what it is. And the only thing that it changes is the absorption, which is still a lot, but I don't know. Armor, I don't really love the way that they did armor. Oh, maybe I'm not sure about it yet. I need to figure it out a little bit more and feel it out a little bit more. But aside from that, they also did a lot of things with level. There's so much to talk about. I'm not going to talk about everything, and I'm not finished with the game. I'm only like an amount through. I have no idea how much. I'm an amount through the game. I'm enjoying it. I'm taking it slowly, and I'm doing everything that's possible that I know of. And after I finish an area, or after I encounter a character, I look it up online to understand a little bit better of what that character is, and not just screw up things, because you could very easily screw up things. So I don't want to, I want to have a good complete walkthrough, playthrough, so I don't feel bad after I finished an area. If I missed anything, I don't mind looking at it. First time through, I want to do it myself, but then I don't mind going back and getting the things. What was I trying to say? I don't even know. Oh, the level design. The level design is what I wanted to talk about. The level design is also absolutely wonderful. What they did is have a relatively linear path between areas. So you have an area, and then you have the other area, and then you have the other area, and you don't have this area into that area into that area. You don't have that anymore. You just have, or at least it seems so far. You just have a linear path between areas, but each area onto itself is crazy. The paths are just crazy. Like really, really, really good, really, really interesting. There's an area with 50 bonfires, and there's an area with 1 bonfire and like 5 different ways to get to that bonfire. So you start off and you come in, you find it, and then you go this way, and you can come here, and then you go that way, and then you go that way, and then that way, and they're all into this one bonfire, and it's like really great, and you can just see all the paths and start conceptualizing, start understanding it, and then going through the area again and again. It's wonderful. I'm really, really enjoying myself so far. I got so much more to do. I've got so much more to do. I'm not even halfway through the game. I don't want to say I don't know. And then I have to, after I finish the game, I want to make sure I have to do 100% of everything. And then I want to go to the Covenants and start murdering people and helping people and murdering people and helping people and playing co-op and with other people and all of that. And then I want to go to NG Plus and do everything all over again. And then I want to go to NG Plus and do everything all over again. And I'll be playing this for a very long time. Right now, I'm still a little bit sick and a little bit just resting and not doing anything. I'm not doing any work of any kind. I am just playing Dark Souls 10 hours a day and enjoying it greatly. But soon I'll have to start doing some other stuff because you can't play all day, all the time. There's a lot of other things that I want to do, but right now this is just so high up there. My priority list is like Dark Souls, and then go down 20 pegs, and maybe there's some other stuff right now. It'll be a little bit better, a little bit further along. But this is just so great. I'm loving this. I'll probably be talking about this a little bit more later, but I think that's enough. Is that enough for you for now? I think so. I should also go back to drinking things because my throat. Yeah, but I'm okay. I'm alive. I might actually go back to doing standard stuff on Sunday and on Saturday and on Sunday. I think on Saturday I'll do a Concept Hunter as usual, and on Sunday we'll start playing the new game that we're playing, which isn't Final Fantasy IX, though it totally should be Final Fantasy IX, which just came out, because Final Fantasy IX is the best Final Fantasy ever. It's the best game ever. Oh my god. But we're going to play a different game, and then later maybe Final Fantasy IX, which will take us a million years. I don't know. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.